When do you know a date yet when the museum may open back to the public? We've been getting some calls.
I know, and we get calls too. The only problem is there's 11 people on our board, 4 officers and 7 others, and 9 of them have full-time jobs. So that kind of limits us to volunteers. So we did the volunteer form and did the City of Douglas waiver for approval. And as soon as we get volunteers, we will be glad to open. We will be open 3 days a week. And so if somebody'd like to give 2, 4, 6 hours a week or a month, we'd be glad to have them.
Can't you just hear in her voice she's needing volunteers
I need 'em.
at the museum? The Heritage Station Museum is a jewel for this community.
It is wonderful.
And seriously, we do encourage people who have some free time on your hands, even if it's just a few hours a week that they can contribute and volunteer. I'm sure it would help tremendously. Welcome them. Tell us about some of the things that the volunteers, once they sign up, maybe they will encourage people
what we would like the
up.
volunteers to do is, first thing, you have to become aware, if you're not, of the exhibits we have and a little bit about the people that are in the exhibits and the actions. We also would be doing field trips with kids. We would be talking to visitors. Our biggest thing is going to be marketing, telling other people about it. So we'll be having little different projects for them to work on while they're volunteering. You can just see it sometimes, but you'll be busy. But it's not a lot of work. It's just a lot of fun.
Now, I know another plan of yours, when I say yours, we're talking about the Historical Society, is to recruit membership. What are your plans to do that?
We have a gentleman on our board that is doing the different levels for membership. And the middle of June, we hope to be sending out a mailing to the ones that had previously been members or supporters. And then we'll go door to door. We encourage everybody, anybody can be a member. We would like for groups, people, individuals. We even hope to have children as like junior members. So we're reaching.
Okay. You mentioned a little earlier about some events that you would like to have. Do you want to go into a little more detail about some of the special events?
We plan to open no later than July. That's why our major events start in July. We're looking to open in June, but it doesn't. If we get volunteers, we'll open tomorrow.
Okay. Sign up.
But we're also going to have a focus on communities. We have a lot of communities in Coffee County that no longer are existing as a community. New Forest, Upton, Shepherd, those places. Even Broxton, West Green, Ambrose, Nichols. We'd like for those communities to get involved with a 6 weeks display. We're also doing a lot of things at Christmas time and going to be open during the open house. And Miss Barra Samuels is going to spearhead the Black History event in February, and she's doing a history on Rat Row. One of the best things about our board is we all have individual interests, so we can pull from a lot of areas and affect a lot of people and get more people in.
Right. Well, I just commend you all because people don't see it yet, the work that you're doing, but it won't be long before they really see the behind-the-scene work that you all are doing, because, as you said, the museum, it was, once on our management, but we just couldn't do all things well, and I'll just go ahead and say that because of everything we're charged to do, so we were so glad that you all stepped up and said, okay, yes, we will take that over, so we thank you all. When does the Coffee County Historical Society meet, and if you would, tell us who the officers are.
I'm president. Chris Deals is vice president. Ernestine Thomas Clark is secretary. Lawrence Day is treasurer when we have money. And we meet the second Monday of the month at 9 a.m. at Heritage Station Museum, and we'd be glad to have you come to a meeting. Anyone is welcome.
Okay, well, great. Anything else about the Historical Society you would like everyone to know?
I would like everyone to know that we're working very hard to get things ready, and if we could get some volunteers that would lend some hours just to keep the doors open for a while and help us, we would be so appreciative.
All right. Well, Carol, thank you so much
for coming
and sharing this information. We'll be back with more Douglas on My Mind right after this break.
If you want your pizza fixed just right, chances are you'll go to Danny's. If you're celebrating a birthday, Holtz is probably fixing the cake you'll put the candles on. And if your wedding ring needs an adjustment, you'll find yourself at Crawford Jewelers. But if it's you who needs fixing, it should definitely happen here. Coffee Regional Medical Center in Douglas, Georgia. We fix things better here.
We are back from break, and thanks for continuing to watch Douglas on My Mind. Joining me on the show now is Major Tom Pujadas, who is with the Douglas Cadet Squadron of the Civil Air Patrol. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here. And if you would, just tell everyone, what is the Civil Air Patrol?
Civil Air Patrol is the volunteer auxiliary of the United States Air Force. It was federally chartered shortly after World War II, but it actually came into existence just prior to World War II. It's charged by the government to, of course, provide volunteer services to assist the Air Force in any way we can, to provide emergency services to the community, state, and nation, cadet programs, and we do disaster relief and aerospace education for our members and the community.
Well, I want to back up and say I'm so glad that you are here and sharing this information about the Civil Air Patrol, because so many people not quite sure what all your organization do in the community. Many may know, but there's some who, you know, this is going to be very educational for them. What is involved with the aerospace program?
The aerospace education program we're charged by Congress to try and assist as far as educating the community and our members about anything that has to do with aviation, space exploration, the awareness, knowledge, understanding its importance for the present and the future. And we provide materials. We train our members in it. We have cadet competitions involving aspects of aerospace. There's just all kinds of activities involved. We provide materials for teachers to teach in the schools. Just all kinds of aspects involving that.
Now, your office here in Douglas, or your headquarters here in Douglas, is located where? It's
at 7 Airport Circle out at the municipal airport. It's actually one of the buildings from the World War II Army Air Corps training facility. It's on the back side of that, Building 7.
Okay. Now you also have an emergency educational program as well. What is that?
Right. Civil Air Patrol is best known for its emergency assistance in locating downed and missing aircraft. We also do training with regard and assist local agencies with regard to finding missing persons, disaster relief, counter-drug operations. We also assist the military as far as local training route surveys, but like I said, best known for locating downed aircraft, missing aircraft.
Okay.
We have special equipment that we use. The cadets go through ground team training that the aircraft try to identify they try to locate the aircraft if they can, get a general idea where it's at, and then we send in the ground teams to actually physically go to the site and render what assistance we can. We are not first responders. We don't provide the services that first responders do. We more or less secure the scene for the first responders to come in.
So how would someone have to be to join this program?
Cadets can join at age 12 through 18. Now, a cadet can't, once he's joined, he can continue as a cadet on up to age 21. But there's no age limit for seniors, 18 on up. We've had them in their 90s.
And you have separate program for the youth and the adults?
There are basically three kinds of squadrons. There's a senior squadron, which is involving only adults. There's a composite squadron, which involves cadets and adults. Now, the cadet squadron also has adults, but the training in a composite squadron usually will have more emphasis on both aspects of cadet and seniors, whereas the cadet squadron has primarily cadets in it, and the seniors there are to oversee and train the cadets in their special areas.
Nationwide, how many cadets in this program?
Approximately 25,000 cadets nationwide, approximately 60,000 total membership. At the Douglas Squadron, we have 23 members, and in the state, we have almost 1,000.
And what are some of like the leadership programs they receive?
Well, we have materials that we utilize as far as providing the training. They have several activities that they're involved in. Of course, the cadets go through a rank structure that's patterned after the Air Force, and they are trained. They receive their training on how to perform their jobs in the squadron and to go into other activities that we have available for cadets. And we have team building exercises that they engage in. They're a lot of fun. They seem to enjoy them a lot.
Well, I'm going to ask this question. Is this like a branch of the military? You get asked that question a lot. Please say yes.
It is not actually a branch of the military. We are the auxiliary, a volunteer auxiliary to the Air Force, and that's it.
Okay.
We are privileged to wear the Air Force uniform, although we do have some differences as far as the insignia.
Well, that was the next question I was going to ask. Does all the cadets wear uniforms?
The cadets they basically the same kind of uniforms. They wear the blues. They wear BDUs, battle dress uniforms. They can wear the full service dress uniform. The seniors, they have the option of wearing the Air Force style uniforms also, but we have to comply with Air Force modified Air Force standards as far as grooming and weight. If alternatively, we have what are called corporate uniforms that the individual can wear if they want to.
Okay. Well, I see you are ranked down today, being a major. So, how does a cadet rank up in the Civil Air Patrol?
The ranking program in Civil Air Patrol for cadets involves they have to take various written tests. Now those tests can be taken in paper form or they can be taken on secure websites online. But they have to take tests in leadership. They have to take tests in aerospace, what's called aerospace dimensions, which is aerospace aspects. They have to pass physical fitness training and character development training. And each rank has its own requirements. And as they pass those requirements, then they are promoted. And as they are promoted, they take on further responsibility as far as the squadron and other cadets.
Okay. Does the cadets do any community-related program other than servicing the Air Force? Being an auxiliary to the Air Force, do you get involved with any community projects?
Let me straighten that. The cadets don't actually participate in assisting the Air Force. That is a specialized area of Civil Air Patrol as far as you may be familiar with. Sometimes there's a lot of military aircraft that fly a route between Douglas and Ocilla.
Yes.
Those are that's a military training route that the military flies when they're training on their own purposes. Civil Air Patrol can be tasked at times to fly those same routes to make sure that there are no obstacles being constructed in the area, to make sure that the military are operating safely. Cadets will not be involved in that. Cadets one of the things they also earn is ribbons, and one of the ribbons they can earn is for community service. They perform a certain number of hours volunteer work in community organizations and nonprofit organizations, and that they will earn a community service ribbon. So the community service aspect is also as part of our emergency relief, disaster relief, the Deepwater Horizon. The cadets and seniors were both involved in the Hurricane Katrina disaster. Deepwater Horizon, they flew a lot of disaster assessment missions where they go and photograph the damage involved, the extent of the oil spill that was involved, and they provided that to the mission base, which would then analyze the situation and they'd know where to go from there.
Okay. What is an encampment?
Every year we have basically call it a summer camp if you want to, with a military twist to it.
Okay.
Every year the cadets are offered an opportunity to go to what we call the summer encampment, and that is a week-long stay at a military base, and the cadets engage in athletic competitions, other activities, academic activities and competitions, and they get to tour the military base, see the different aspects